Hello, welcome to Healing Fire. My name is Judy. Thank you so much for joining this channel, joining this video. It's actually been a little bit since I've done a recording. I've been doing mostly lives lately. So, hey, good to see you guys. So I did want to point out, a few people have mentioned a little bit of confusion in my videos versus my lives. So when I record a live, whether it's a collaboration or just me, it goes under the live tab of the channel. And then if I'm the one doing the recording, in other words, even if there's a collaboration or something, if I'm the one doing the recording, I do like to repost it under videos. It shows up as a separate thing just because I've found that not everybody checks the live tabs. They'll just hit the videos tab. And so if you miss the live, you might miss the opportunity to watch the live. And so I reposted under videos just to capture those people that don't check the lives tab. So that's why that happens. So you will see the lives posted under the live tab, and then also reposted under videos. So you can watch and replay, even if you don't catch us or me live on that. So also during the lives, I've been putting the comments on the screen. I realize when you're replaying it, it shows up really, really tiny, especially if you're on your phone. There's no way you're going to be able to see it or reread it. I just do that so people can follow along on a replay. If you're watching on your computer, it's a little bit easier to see. Some people watch on their TV, and then it's much easier to see. I get that if you're watching on your phone, it's going to be, impossible, especially if you have my eyeballs, which that's not going to happen. You're not going to be able to read anything. But I do try to repeat or to read out the questions that I'm addressing so that you can at least capture what is going across on the screen. So that's, even if you can't see it, I do try to mention it or to read out the question and the comments from people. I try really hard to keep up with the comments. So hopefully that helps. I just post the comments so that, if you do want to follow along, you have that opportunity if you have a larger screen. So that's why I do it. Some people have complained about it. If I don't post them, I've had people complain about that too. So, I guess, I'll probably continue to post it just for those that have a larger screen. If they want to kind of read along what's going on, it's there. So there you go. If you hear doggy noises, my dog Bear is right behind me. So actually he's moved. Now he's right there. So that's what the doggy noises are. Sometimes he sneezes and whatever doggies do. So if you hear some funny noises, probably my Bearsiphon. So also, everything on this video and on this channel is for entertainment and spiritual purposes only. Thank you so much for joining. Please hit the like button, hit the little alarm bell so you can get notified when I do posts or videos or lives or anything going on. Tonight I was just live with Golden Girl. There goes Bear with Golden Girls Coffee Clutch. I joined in a little bit late, so as those of you know who've been around for a bit, I'm gonna pet my bear. Hey, Bear, come here, Bubba. See if he can make an appearance. There he is. There's my bear. Hi, buddy. Hi. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. He is. Anyway, I work full time and also been going to the hospital to visit my grandbaby when I'm able to, who was born very, very early, 29 weeks, and it's been very scary, but he's doing better. All tubes have been removed at this point, so this is a good thing. He was intubated. He had chest tubes going in both sides of his lungs. And, thankfully, modern medicine has been great. What are you doing, weirdo? He's just rolling all over the floor, doing what dogs do, I guess. Anyway, so all tubes have been removed. He's doing better. He has a little baby CPAP on his nose, which is really cute. And mom and dad are able to start holding him, which is good. Nobody else is. Nobody else can until probably late December. He wasn't supposed to be born until into the first week, beginning the second week in January. So extremely early. Plus, my dad has been having health issues and was spent a week in the hospital and is going in for surgery tomorrow. So a lot of hospital things going on. And so I've been between YouTube and work and hospitals. I'm kind of jumping all over. So anyway, that's why I was late joining in Golden Girls Coffee Clutch. So sorry about that, but kind of my life right now, but they thankfully let me just join on in, even though I was going to be late. So very nice. All kinds of things going on. How about that blue wave that happened? Yeah. So Democrats did really well. Really, really, really good sign. Although immediately Mark Elias was just talking about F-45 trying to issue executive orders to do things to basically quell legal voting. So he's going to try to make things as difficult as possible for midterms. So there's that. No surprise considering the source. So we'll just have to see how this plays out. I did want to talk a bit tonight about Amnesty International. So Amnesty International has issued a call to investigate the United States airstrikes in Yemen and also to condemn the airstrikes in the Caribbean and the Eastern Pacific. Basically, we've been blowing up fishing boats, and F-45 has been calling them drug runners, but that is not what is happening. They're just fishing vessels. Amnesty International's done their own investigations, and they're calling for crimes against the United States and F-45. So first of all, there was, the United States killed dozens of African migrants in a prison camp detention center run by Houthi rebels in April of this last year. Amnesty International did their own investigation and concluded, upon completing the investigation, that the attack was completely indiscriminate. They just decided, they just blew it up, even though there were civilians there. So, and they are claiming that that it may be a war crime, and they are condemning it. The U.S. Central Intelligence, or CENTCOM, has not issued a response because they don't recognize the ICC, which is the International Criminal Court. Bear, lie down. Lie down. There you go. Sorry. Bear's very demanding. Anyway, because they don't identify or they don't recognize the International Criminal Court, thus any formal legal accountability for the United States personnel in an international forum would rely on a UN investigation, a domestic investigation by the United States military, or a process in the country that of the jurisdiction of over said incident. In this case, where they were killed. In addition to that, condemning, so that's about killing the dozens of African migrants in the prison/detention center run by the Houthi rebels. Amnesty International is also condemning the U.S. airstrikes in the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific, calling it murder and illegal. They are demanding that Congress act to stop them from continuing these actions and hold the responsible parties accountable. So, on several occasions, I have mentioned that there would be international charges brought forth against F-45 and his administration for their illegal actions. That there will be war crimes. I do believe he will be charged with treason. There will be other crimes issued. So if you are in the military, you have the legal obligation to decline an illegal order. It's not looked highly upon. However, you can decline an illegal order. Before things like what has happened here are done, usually it runs through JAG, which is the military legal system, the lawyers that they have. If JAG said, yeah, that's good, go ahead and do it, that's fascinating. So either they just didn't consult JAG or they got some really bad advice. One or the other. I tend to think they just did as F-45 does and just do it and don't question it, because anybody who questions F-45 is being asked to retire out of the military. So those that are left are supporters of said F-45, and they're just doing things like that. So I still do believe they are going to be held accountable. If you are the pilot that dropped the said big boom in these cases, you are likely going to be held responsible. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So I wanted to do a card pull on these things, on how is it going to play out, since Amnesty International is trying to do their part and hold the United States accountable. There's a reason why the United States at this point with F-45 does not recognize the ICC, and a reason why the United States wants to pull out of the United Nations. It's because they want to say, well, we don't abide by your rules anyway, so you can't investigate us. Well, at this point, we do still belong to the United Nations, and they can investigate us for illegal actions, and they can hold responsible international war crimes. And if we are indeed found guilty by international court, that might be a problem for this administration. So how's that going to play out? I'm going to do a reading on the energy of Amnesty International and international war crimes, and how that's going to play out for the United States. So let's see. Let's see what happens. Oh, curious. Interesting. Huh. Very curious. See if you can, I don't know if you'll be able to see all these or not, but some cards. There you go. Okay. All right. Let's see what we got. Interesting. So regarding how basically the energy of how it's going to play out with Amnesty International and the United States and the United Nations and war crimes and all of the whole energy of all of that, how it's going to play out. So what comes out first is the Ace of Cups. So these are some high emotion situations. You're dealing with human lives. You're dealing with people's families. You're dealing with basically the most powerful blowing up the least powerful, right? Having zero regard for human life as they continue to prove with every single action they take. And it's, there are groups like Amnesty International who do value human life and who are the stewards that look out for those that don't have the power and the money that leaders of countries have, right? So this is aces are usually brand new energy moving forth, but cups are emotion. And this is going to span the test of time here. And there's intuition involved. Usually with the Ace of Cups, you see how it's overflowing there. Typically, you'll look and it'll be, it's representing all of the senses overflowing. So the things that we see, the things that we hear, the things that we smell and taste and touch, all of our senses are overwhelming and overflowing with emotion regarding this. And this is, the fish are a connection to spirit and the water is emotion. So you've got a lot in the all-seeing eye, connection to spirit, and spanning the test of time through all of the seasons. So what this tells me with this situation is that there will be some new emotional charges that will come forth, and it will really tick people off. So as much as the United States, with our current media situation being wholly owned by F-45 at this point, as much as they are not reporting or spending time on this issue, there are other countries that are going to spend time on this issue. And it will get the attention of the United Nations, and it will be investigated, and there will be repercussions for these crimes that have happened that previously we would have been like, what are you doing? And the United States would come to their aid and their action. Well, now we're the baddies. We're the bad guys. It's crossed by the Three of Pentacles. So the people working on this, it's a lot of work, and they're very good at what they do for investigating these type of things. And they're going to keep plugging away, and they aren't going to let it go, because you're dealing with people's lives. You're dealing with humanity. You're dealing with war crimes. And just because these people are powerful and they have a lot of money does not mean they should be allowed to get away with war crimes. I'm going to let Bear out of the office, so I'm going to pause this just a moment. And we're back. He's so funny. When I'm reading cards, he doesn't like to be in here. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know. So he just goes and does his thing. Okay, so this is the core of the reading. This is the energy crossing that. Okay, so yes, it's going to be a highly emotional situation, but it is also new energy moving forward. So while Amnesty International has already completed their investigation and found their conclusions, they're going to be pushing that action happens, and that there are consequences for the actions that have been taken. The foundation is the Fool. So the Fool often represents new beginnings. So so these won't be the only charges. There's more stuff coming that they're on it. They're going to be compiling court cases after court cases after court cases, which are going to keep building cases against the F-45 regime. Interesting. That's what came in, is that these are not, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. And the moving into the past is the Ace of Wands. So wands are well, again, aces are new beginnings again. So we have two aces. We have the Ace of Cups, which is highly emotional. We have the Ace of Wands, which is also very often called the big stick. Whap, think of Harry Potter and the Whomping Willow. That's what I always think of. But plans or the wands are also, so they're plans, they're action, because fire is action and creation and inspiration and all of this. So while there's a new beginning and a new plan and a new inspired emotionally from the wrongdoings, this is moving into the past, which means that they are ready to start taking action. And the information I got on this is these stories that I just read on are not going to be the only things that are looked at, because F-45 does not care about humanity and will keep doing more and more illegal things. So they're just going to keep adding to their book of lawsuits, essentially, or their book of investigations. So it's already started, and when they move forth with it, it's going to be moved into the past, which this is Nine of Wands here. So this is the Perseverance card. So this is going to be a hard thing, but they are going to persevere and keep moving forward on this. I don't think you're going to stop them. It's not going to be easy, because there are a lot of financial and political agreements with this administration and leaders from all over the world. So you need those leaders that you find enough of them that aren't financially benefiting in some way, or aren't worried about their names coming out during certain files being released and revelations, for example. You have to find enough of those leaders, which is fewer than you might think, to be willing to move forward. And so it has to be, to go up against the United States and the leaders and the regime of the United States, you need to have all your ducks in a row. So there is going to be some serious perseverance that's going to happen. But ultimately, what's coming in the future from this, it's the Three of Cups. So this is a celebration. So they're going to be successful in this venture, in bringing about some war crimes, is what this tells me. Currently, right now, internally, we have the King of Wands. So the King is very external energy, and he's aggressive energy. And wands, again, are fire and creation and plans. The King, I get the feeling that this is F-45 right now. Internally, this is F-45 really being like, I am untouchable. I can do what I want. If I want to blow up 10 boats, I can blow up 10 boats. I don't care. What does he call? He calls other countries S-hole countries anyway, right? So he doesn't care. He literally could not care less. Absolutely could not care less. So he's feeling pretty untouchable right now. And he's leaning forward like, you got nothing on me. You can't get me. You think what I did was illegal? Yeah, whatever. Prove it. Who's gonna come get me? That's F-45 right now, and that whole regime. External energy. Yeah, well, the rest of the world might have something to say about it because, quite frankly, nobody likes him. Nobody likes him, and fewer people like JD. So, a lot of information that's going to be coming out and coming at them from all over the world. From all over the world. Hopes and fears, the Queen of Wands. I get a lot of wands in this reading. I mean, it's like almost all wands in this reading. This is crazy. I don't think I've ever had this many wands in a reading. That is really interesting. So hopes and fears. So while we had the King of Wands in internal of what's going on internally, this is in hopes and fears, which is the Queen. So while the King is external, the Queen is internal, and she is very nurturing. She takes care of, she is fully capable of creating her own world and getting what she knows how to get what she wants, and she has created it, and she is very comfortable. But the Queen, because she is comfortable, she takes care of her own. She takes care of who and what is important to her. Her family, her city, her state, her country, her people, as well as any land that's important to her, or any concept that's important to her. Anything that she values is what she's going to take care of. So you have F-45 going, oh yeah, well, I can do what I want. You can't come at me. And the hope is that yeah, we've got a lot of information and we've conducted our own investigation, and we're finding that you're continuing to do plenty of things that are international crimes. And here they are, and bringing them out. The hope is that, yeah, these idiots are going to be held accountable. The fear is that they won't. So the hope is the Queen will be able to take care of, the Amnesty International will be able to take care of the people that need the most care and help and justice. And the fear is that these big bad bullies are going to get away with it like they so often do. So this is hopes and fears. Interesting, again, another wand. The final outcome is the Page of Wands. So wands being creation, page is new energy. So this is moving forth and going forward into a new project or a new plan or new inspiration. So here they go. This is the final outcome is, yep, let's bring it. Right? So this is what started it all, Ace, which was the new beginning with all of the emotion and everything. And now here we go. Let's do it. They're moving forward. So I think they've already taken the steps to move forward, and that's where we're at. So this is the final outcome right now. And they're going to, they've already got a lot of information. And the more he does, the more information that's going to come out. And they're going to keep persevering. They're going to keep at it. They're going to keep pulling information until somebody takes action. That's what Amnesty International does. They fight for the underdogs. They fight for the people that need somebody to fight for them. And they're going to keep it. And they have a good reputation. And they have a good alliance with the United Nations and the ICC. But again, we're not a part of the ICC. So the only people that can take action is the United Nations, or our military. Our own military could actually stop it and take action against the regime. Except the problem is our own military is who is doing the bombing. And so they'd have to tell on themselves, and that's not likely. So just to validate some things, let's see what the dowsing rods have to say. So Hey guys, hello. Okay, for those of you new to the channel, hey guys, can you show everybody what a yes is? That is a yes. Can you show everybody what a no is? That is a no. See this one moving over here? There we go. That is a no. So usually one will move and the other one kind of holds center. And then, they might just rock back and forth while I'm asking questions just to keep momentum on. But anyway, that's yes. That's no. They have nuances, which I've learned to read as well. Anyway, hi. Hello. Okay, you guys heard what I was talking about. Amnesty International is gathering information on F-45 and the regime. Yes. Are they, so while the ICC can't really do anything with us, is that correct? Yes. Okay. Will the United Nations take up cases, war crime cases against the United States? Yes. Will they be against F-45? Yes. Will they be against the other members of his regime? Yes. Will they be successful? Yes. Okay. Just curious. I just got information in. Is Starlink involved with this somehow? Yes. Are they going to have information on Muskrat on this too? Yes. Because they're using his satellites to track things and people, correct? Yes. That just came in. I didn't even think about that. Okay. So there you go. And what about some of the members of Congress? So Amnesty International has called upon Congress to put a stop to it, correct? Yes. Will they put a stop to it? No. Whoa. Okay. So it's going to have to be the United Nations that puts a stop to it. Yes. Okay. So war crimes are going to be brought upon certain members of Congress and the military also? Yes. All right. Well, there you go. So we'll see where this leads. But, don't take your eye off that ball. I know that all of this stuff going on in our daily there's always so much going on that we tend to not know or be aware of some of these other things going on. This is one to watch. I think this will be important. It'll be important on moving forward and charges being brought against the regime and part of possibly what helps take them down. So, all right, please like, share, subscribe, check out membership status as well, and hit the little alarm bell. I really appreciate everybody. And if you are so inclined to help support me and the channel, help keep the lights on, I greatly appreciate it. It'd be wonderful. If you are inclined to do that, I have links in the description for Venmo and Cash App and PayPal and an Amazon wish list as well. So all of those wonderful things. But thank you so much. I really appreciate all of you, and we'll see you soon. Peace out.